Okay, so here we are, about 50 miles down the highway on our way to California, and we've blown the front seal in the brand new transmission that Ken put in his Ford Explorer. Anyway, the plan is we're going to go home, and then Kenny and I are going to take the rest of the day, and we're going to get my truck ready, and then we're going to leave in my truck, and hopefully we'll have better luck. We are not giving up. We are making it to Happy Camp. We are going to run this machine, and we're going to get some awesome gold. Okay, so it's a little after 1:30 in the morning, and we made it all the way back. Did a little work on the truck. Truck's running really good. On the Salmon River, machine's all set up. We spent all day yesterday sampling everywhere to find a good spot. Saw Tom Ashworth and Coley. They're camped right next to us at the campground. They're telling us that there's no gold left in the river, or very little. They're not happy with the dredging. Everybody says the high banking is good. And we sampled and sampled, and we found this hard pack material here about 30 or 40 feet from the river. And there's been a lot of high banking activity before, and we did a lot of sample pans, and we really like the gold that we took. We found a couple of tiny nuggets and some big flakes, and just about every pan had nice flakes in it. Not tiny flakes, nice medium-sized flakes. So we got the machine set up. Ken and Matt went to the store to get more water and more ice, and we're ready to start up here and have this running. We're in some good gravel. Got a good machine. We're going to do awesome. And we're going to be able to mine all day today and all day tomorrow. And then we'll go home on Saturday. So even though this trip started with the Ford Explorer blowing up its transmission, we went back, we got the other truck, we prevailed. We are here, ready to mine. Been running now for about an hour and a half. Machine's running really good. So, Mr. Kennedy, working pretty good for you?
Awesome.
Yeah, the only problem we got is that about once an hour the engine will die, and I think it's because the fuel line gets so hot that it vapor locks and shuts off. There's a couple holes in it we've cut. Here's the sluice box in action, and you can see, you know, the slurry just comes right over that slick plate, and there's some air there, but there's nowhere near as much air as we've had in the past. And then right over the moss, and then there's a lot of rocks hanging up, but they're hanging up on the last set of riffles, so it's really not a problem. The majority of gold, in my opinion, is going to be caught right there in the first few inches of miner's lawn. I think the box is working really good. Set up well. And with the dampener and the dampener in that wall right there, the stuff has nowhere else to go but right smack down against the slip plate. So we know the gold is good. I expect the cleanup tonight to look really good. And we got all day today and all day tomorrow to mine. Okay, the time now is 1:13 in the afternoon, and we got about 2 hours of runtime on the machine. And we'll go up and take a look at the hole and see how deep it is. It's a pretty good volume of bypass water we got. We actually can open up both of the auxiliary ports, one all the way and the other one about halfway. So we're able to bypass about 50 gallons of water and pick it up through the nozzle, which is plenty of volume to work the material down. And the material goes down, the small material goes down to the nozzle by itself, and the nozzle will pick it all up. So the advantage of this machine is that you do not have to work the nozzle the way you do on an underwater dredge. And you can see the size of the hole. That's pretty good for a couple hours work with the 3-inch. So you can only imagine what is possible with the larger machines. About 4 hours of work now. We moved the nozzle over a little bit. Because the nozzle sits right there next to that boulder, we went ahead and pulled the gantry out. And we also added a longer piece of flexible hose to the first nozzle so we can get a little more angle on it. Here's the bedrock we've already worked. Here's the stuff we're working now. And we're going to keep moving the nozzle back in this direction, exposing more bedrock. We can't bring the hole forward because there's two huge boulders sitting here, and we don't want to undermine those, of course. So we can't bring the hole forward any, but we can move that way. We just taught him how to pan yesterday, and he's already panning gold and doing a decent job of it. And I want to make special mention of the fact that that is a Garrett pan that he's got in his hand, and I'm going to give him that pan this weekend. That's going to be his to have as long as I don't see him with anything else. Not a black plastic pan and not a square pan. If I see any other pan in his hands today, he's not going to keep that, because I want him to learn how to pan correctly with the Garrett pan. We have not cleaned up one time. I'm just going to let it run all day. Okay, and this is about normal for the amount of material coming through. And you can see there's a little bit of air, but not like it was with the earlier setups. Slick plate is doing great. You know, there's a little bit of rock holding up in the riffles, which is normal, but there's no rock hanging up in the moss. So I think we're going to be really looking good. Now, I don't know if this is going to show up with the camera or not, but where the slick plate meets the moss, you can see the material boiling right there. You know, just like just like it would in a normal riffle. Been at it about 5 hours. I want to pull the camera back, show you the entire hole. Okay, now before I started there was a very small hole right in front of that boulder. Like about maybe, 3 square feet, 4 square feet in front of that boulder, and that's it. Okay, we've dug all this, exposed all this bedrock, dug all that, and now we're digging up there and exposing that bedrock. Tom Ashworth and I were having a talk last night, and he refuses to believe that this machine will move as much material as an underwater dredge will. But you know what? I defy you to dig a hole in 5 hours with a 3-inch underwater dredge that's as big as this. And if you look at the nozzle, and I'm going to zoom in on it, okay, you can see that the nozzle is pulling material 100% of the time. As long as we're running up there, as long as he's running water out, the nozzle is pulling material, and you do not have to manipulate the nozzle. You only have to pull the oversized rocks out by hand, and all the rocks you pull out free up more material to flow down, and it gets picked up by itself. And when we're all done up there, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to clean all this material so the nozzle's sitting on bedrock, and we'll have every bit of gold picked up. So I expect that we're going to be looking really good gold-wise between today and tomorrow. 6.5 hours. Here's the hole. That's bedrock up there. The hole's about 10 to 12 feet long. Average width. Put the average width at about 4+ feet. Average depth 2 feet. Now that's a material that we've moved, and there was a small pre-existing hole where he's standing. Everything else has been moved. Either we threw it out of the hole by hand, or it went up the nozzle. And you can see the nozzle is constantly taking material 100% of the time, unattended. As long as we're moving the big rocks out, the smaller material is headed down there and it's being picked up and taken out to the bottom. So there is a distinct advantage to the automated action of the nozzle. And powered by the 8-horse Briggs & Stratton, it's not using that much gas. We started out with 6 gallons, and we still got at least half of it. So it looks like the engine's using about a gallon every 2 hours is my estimation at this time. We'll do a more exact measurement on fuel consumption later. And we took a grab can of material off the bedrock right over there just ahead of where his foot is, and there was 9 nice flakes in there. So yeah, we're kicking some butt on this gravel today. Made some changes to the box. We leveled it out as much as we could, and basically it's as level as I can get it without having the rocks hang up on the riffles and the moss. And I took a piece of expanded metal and added expanded metal to the top of the moss, where yesterday we didn't have any. We just had plain moss. Now look carefully at it. I don't know if it'll show up, but you can see where the material is boiling behind the expanded metal on top of the moss, which is an effect you don't see that without the expanded metal there. So we got a lot of small flakes yesterday, but we didn't get the really super fine. We didn't get the flour gold that I know was there because I saw it in the sample pans. So we're going to see if there's more flour gold in the cleanup today. Shade makes all the difference. Okay, it's about the 9th hour of mining. 2 hours into the second day. Got a nice little pocket down on the bedrock. Got the nozzle sitting on it. Washing all the material down. And the nozzle's sitting about, I'll estimate, 3.5 feet. So we're at a depth of about 3.5 feet. And pan over the entire hole. From there, across there, and all the way up to where the moss is on the rock. That's everything that we've moved. Lunch break, second day. Getting consistent gold in every sample panned along the edge where the bedrock and the material meet. That looks really good. We're getting lots of gold. The machine's working fantastic. Okay, we're cleaning the bedrock around the nozzle. We've gone as deep as we can go. And we found this right here. Look at it on his finger. That's right. Nice little nugget sitting right on the bedrock under the nozzle. You can't tell me that's not a nice piece.
That's pretty awesome, David.
And where there's one,
There's more.
we know there's more. Pretty incredible. There it is. Big nugget. We had the one that was in the hole on the bedrock, and then we had the hose come loose, and we had to shut the pump down, and then this was sitting in the box under the expanded metal. So that is a nice nugget. And here it is in my hand, so you can see the size of it. Yeah! Right there where the nozzle is, that's where the one came from we saw on the bedrock, and we don't know where the other one came from, presumably the same spot. Now the bedrock here is all serpentine, schist, greenstone. It's all basically the same. Ultramafic rock, and parts of it are decomposed into a soft clay. So we think maybe the clay is, the nuggets are sitting on top of the clay. Anyway, we're going to take the time and we're going to work this bedrock really good, because we already know that there are nuggets here. All exposed bedrock. That we've worked.